I am Simone Claxton, President and founder of the Sapphire Miriam Foundation, a nonprofit organization incorporated in the beautiful Trinidad Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I would like to welcome each and every one of you from all over the world. We have Malaika as our tech assistant today. Malaika is all the way in Pakistan, and we thank her for her support and for being on board with the program. She's one of our new volunteers. I would like to acknowledge everyone on board here today and welcome Ms. Erica Bleasdell from the Unitrust Corporation, as she will be our first presenter. And then we'll be having Marion all the way in South Africa. So we have young ladies from all over the world. We'll be having some young ladies from Africa joining us today as well. We have ladies in the US, also all over the Caribbean, Dominica, St. Lucia, Kitts and Caicos, etc. So I'd like to welcome each and every one of you, those who are in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean and beyond. So this session, we'll be focusing again on financial literacy. So we had financial literacy last week with the Bankers Association with Scotiabank, where we learned about budgeting and saving and a bit about investment. However, this week we'll be focusing a lot more on the investment aspect of it with the Unitrust Corporation. And also we'll be going into entrepreneurship. So we have a fun game session at the end with an entrepreneurial game called Funancial Freedom. And we'll be also hearing from Marion as well about entrepreneurship. And I would like to acknowledge Deborah in Dominica. We also have Italia in St. Lucia. We have Marion, obviously in South Africa, and Dr. Joppy in the US. So I'd just like to welcome all our partners and thank them, and also to thank our sponsors. We have the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago, and we also have the Unitrust Corporation on board as usual. So we just want to thank our sponsors for making this possible. And I would like to turn you over to Ms. Erica Bleasdell from the Unitrust Corporation, and we'll stop our recording here. Oh, Mr. Lateef is also here. Sorry, Mr. Lateef from Ghana. Okay, so after the session, yes, after the session, he will give us some greetings from his country. So we welcome Africa on board. Thank you.
Hey there, awesome. Okay, entrepreneurs in the making. Welcome to our session on building the financial foundations for your future success. So I'm so pumped to be here with all of you today. I don't know if you remember me from last week, but last time we met, we talked about a couple of really important personal finance books, and I'm just bringing them up again here for you. So now I added this in because this is one of the top books that most entrepreneurs really start their journey with reading this book, and it helps you to change your mindset and do all of that. So let's just do a quick refresher. In all your worth, Elizabeth Warren lays out the essential 50-30-20 budgeting rule. Do you remember that? So that was where 50% of your income goes to your needs, 30% to your wants, and 20% straight to your savings to grow your wealth over time, right? All right. So, okay. So anyways, what I've done is I've put the presentation on a website. Here's the name of the website. If any of you want to go onto your devices and follow as I'm doing the presentation, there's the name, girlsempowerment.mystrikingly.com. And at the end of the presentation, I'll also put a summary at the bottom of the website. And you can access the website after the presentation anytime. It will be available for you. All right, so please keep these books in mind as we carry on. So now before we dive in, I want to ask, how many of you consider yourselves avid readers? Yes, I can see some hands up. I'm not seeing the chat on my screen at the moment. Yes, okay, so a couple of people have their hands up. So don't be shy, you can, fantastic. Okay, I see you've got your hand raised there, Katita. You want to ask a question? Or are you saying that you read a lot of books?
Yes, miss, I read it.
Fantastic. Okay, great. So now you really need to listen up here, because reading is the secret weapon of so many crazy successful CEOs, entrepreneurs, industry leaders. And there's a guy named Warren Buffett. I mentioned him last week again. He's a very legendary investor. he reportedly reads up to 6 hours a day. And then there's Oprah Winfrey, the media mogul. She says that reading transformed her life. She even started a book club, one of the biggest book clubs in the world. And then there's Elon Musk. We've all heard of Elon Musk. He's the innovative mind behind Tesla and SpaceX. He claims he learned how to build rockets by reading books. Like, to become a rocket engineer, you have to go to university and, do fancy maths and science. And he didn't do any of that. He did it by reading books. So I really encourage you to read books. All the successful entrepreneurs do it very often. Okay, so my name is Marion Behrent. I'm a business strategy consultant. I work with big brands. I'm the owner of a business strategy consulting firm called Art Infographic. And over the years, I've had the opportunity to work with many national and globally recognized brands across industries like travel, luxury, finance, and real estate. And in addition to my client work, I've also authored a number of books on entrepreneurship. And I'm passionate about sharing the frameworks and strategies I've learned through these experiences with other business owners. So I'm excited to be here today. I've also been very fortunate to work with celebrities, with well-known celebrities, Hollywood celebrities, and social media personalities as well. So I help them with their personal branding. And so these are just some of the names of the businesses that I've worked with. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, I have a website. You can just go onto that website over there. And it's got more information for you. So today is Captains of Industry. I have another book that I'd like to share with you guys. A little bit further down here. Oh, where did it disappear to? Okay. I think I'm ahead here on my slides. Just hang 10. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you about another book a little bit later on how to grow your business, how to expand it a little bit more. But anyways, this is just an introduction and just explaining that we're ready to navigate these uncharted waters and go and find treasures that lie within you and just really get excited about entrepreneurship. It's one of the best ways to make money. Okay, and here's a quote here. Of all the gifts we have as humans, the one that stands out is our ability to be creative. It is responsible for all the progress that we enjoy today. Okay, so now what sometimes happens is we get stuck in the idea that we have to follow a whole lot of rules. And you're kind of scared. Now, do I open up this business? I don't know how tax works. I don't know how to do invoicing. I don't know what to do with the product. And I hope I'm not going to lose you. It's saying my internet's a little unstable. Let's hope. Okay, so don't get stuck on all the rules. Don't think that there's a right way or a wrong way. The whole great thing about being an entrepreneur in the beginning is that you're trying and testing and experimenting and doing creative stuff, like making things, trying different materials or whatever it is that you're doing. Like, really allow yourself to be creative. Don't get stuck on not starting because you're scared that you're not following the rules or you're not doing things in the right way, So I've given a little bit more information here, and you can go and read it when you go onto the website about the lady who wrote this quote. Sorry, it's actually a man who wrote this quote. He actually started a department at the State University of New York, which looked at people being creative and creative thinking. And he wrote a number of books and he gave a lot of lectures about it and that. And it changed the way people were looking at business. And in the past, it was very much about rules and it was difficult to start a business. And he kind of opened up the field and said, just be creative, do whatever it is that that ignites you inside, you know? So now I'd like to know, I think the best is if you put your microphone on and let me know, are any of you here creative? Are any of you artists or seamstress? Creativity can also just be like you've got some big ideas and different things that you do. So I'd be keen to hear, is there anybody here who...
Does writing count?
Katisha, is it writing you said?
Yes, writing. I'm writing.
Yes, writing does count. So Katisha, you're an author? What sort of books are you writing? Tell us a bit.
I write fantasy and fiction. I write more on the more non-realistic genre where we explore concepts, or explore realistic concepts like politics, corruption, families, and those sorts of things. But I
Okay.
write in a setting that
Okay.
is not necessarily real life.
I'm back again.
Yes, Marion.
It's so frustrating.
We have an author, Katisha. She does writing, so she's asking if writing counts.
Oh,
Being
definitely.
creative, yes.
Oh, definitely. That's actually a big part of my work that I do. I do copywriting, and I've written like articles for the travel industry, and it's so creative. I've never been to in my life before. I wrote articles about Kenya and Tanzania and about festivals around the world and about white Christmases, and it makes your mind just go to all sorts of places. What type of writing do you do, Kadisha?
I do fantasy and fiction writing, but I enjoy
Okay.
exploring real life concepts such as corruption, politics, family dynamics, relationships, complex thoughts that we don't really see explored in general fiction.
Oh, wow. How long have you been writing for?
Um, it's sort of been something I've been doing all my life. It's just I've adapted into the fantasy fiction with realism in recent years since I started high school.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I really encourage you to continue doing that and exploring that. When I was your age, I liked to write poetry. So I enjoyed writing a lot of poetry. And also I do painting. I'm an artist. So,
Poetry and art are both very beautiful things.
sorry, what did you say? Oh, they are. Thank you so much. It does really enrich your life to have these hobbies outside of general life. Anybody else here have any other creative side to them?
Anybody else wants to share their creative side?
Anybody else would like to share their creative side?
I'm not sure if cosmetology counts, but like hairstyles, nails, and makeup is like something that I do.
Jewel does hairstyle, nails, makeup in the cosmetology.
Wow,
field.
cosmetology.
Yes.
So that's that's definitely creative. Because you've got different colors, you've got different, and you do it according to. So a little bit more about me. I also had a photographic studios, and makeup artists and that would come around, and it's definitely a very creative field. So that's very interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to go a little bit further here, in our presentation here. So let me just click over here. Okay, so now I've laid out a little bit of the entrepreneurial journey. So with my branding, we've got the high seas and nautical theme that comes through. And so when you're starting your adventure, it's like you're preparing your ship that's going to go out to sea. And in order for you to prepare your ship, you need to know that you've got everything in place, that you've got your social media in place, and that you've got a good plan. And then when it comes to a plan, having a good map, because you don't want to just go out to sea and then you don't know where you're going. You're going to be lost for days, for years out at sea. Can everybody still hear me here?
Yes, miss.
Okay,
Yes, we hear
great.
you.
Thank you. Okay. So you don't want to just go on a ship and then go out into the ocean and say, okay, we got to go off. You also need to have a bit of a map that tells you where the islands are so that you get to the right island. You don't want to land up on an island that's full of snakes or something. You want to go to the one that's got treasure on it. So we've got this theme that goes through the work that we do. And you can imagine I work with very serious people that are like, they don't really have a good sense of humor. Some of them are very like strict business people. So I want to keep them entertained, and this is kind of what we talk about. So it just makes my business a little bit more fun when dealing with the adults. So now you need a map, and then eventually you'll go to islands, and different islands have different opportunities. Some islands have got fresh water, other islands will have more food on them, some will be really beautiful. And so you need to decide which islands do you want to go to, and then ultimately you'll have success. And success that you have in business is what's called revenues, which is generating some income, as well as global customer reach, as well as being able to scale your business for growth. So now I just want to talk about that a little bit more, because one of the biggest mistakes that small businesses make that I see very early on is that because people that start their own businesses tend to be very talented, they tend to be able to do quite a lot of things. And they go and study it and they become very passionate about their business. But then what happens is they want to do everything themselves. So this is now where I would like to share with you another book, the book that I mentioned earlier. And I've added this book because although you might have your sights set on building the next big business empire, you can't do it all on your own. And this is a book that explains to you how to do it, how to expand your business without having to do it by your own. And that's a book called The E-Myth Revisited. The E standing for entrepreneur. So there's this myth that an entrepreneur, that's another name for a business owner, does everything all by themselves. And I can tell you it does not work. And the sooner you can expand and be able to have other people helping you, the quicker and the better you'll be doing. So as you can see with Simone, she brought great people in to her team to help her to grow her business. Okay, so in the book, so the author of this book, his name is Michael Gerber, and he explains that most businesses aren't built solely on the founder. Nope, they've got systems and processes in place that allow the company to run like a well-oiled machine, even when the founder, the person who started the business, is not there. And that's pretty important because part of wanting to be an entrepreneur, as your business grows, and I know this sounds crazy for me to be saying this to you at your age, but most businesses really start taking off in about 3 to 5 years. And in 5 years' time, you don't want to have all of your time being taken up by your business. And one of the things that a lot of business owners want to do is be able to travel the world and enjoy their life. Like, why would you want to open up a business? It's hard work to open, to run a business that that's got a lot of people working for you, and that can be hard work. Why would you want to do that versus going and working a job, and you know that you've got the same amount of income coming in every month? And like starting a business, you have some risks and stuff. The reason for that is that entrepreneurs that run their businesses well learn how to be able to have time freedom and money freedom, and be able to travel, be able to do amazing things, whatever they feel like doing. So this book teaches you a little bit more about how you can assemble a team and grow your impact. You can help more people. And also what I realized when I was running my own businesses is that when you have people working for you, they are earning an income, and they are able to take that income and help their families and help their communities. So you really are impacting whole families and whole communities as you grow your business. So I've put the name and everything over here, and you can take down those details, and you can check it out online at some point. Okay, is everybody still with me here?
Yes, we are.
Okay, do I have any questions so far?
Come on, ladies, now is the time to ask any questions thus far.
That's
Marion,
fine.
I must say thanks so much for putting together this website, because it's something that they can always go back to, you know, and refer, and really take in the information at another point in time, you know, something visual that they can actually hold on to. So this is lovely.
Thank you. Yes, I thought that would be nice, and you know, then everybody can go and find the information a little bit later as well. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about this website. As you can see at the bottom here, it says create a site with Strikingly. Okay, so let's talk about one of the most important and most intimidating parts of starting a business, and that is building a website. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh, but I'm not a tech genius. How am I supposed to create a professional looking website? So don't worry. That's where this platform Strikingly comes in. Okay, because you might have heard of Strikingly before. It's a website builder that our very own Art Infographic, my business is called Art Infographic, as you can see the name over here, has been using for years to create free, easy to use websites and landing pages. So have any of you tried to build a website before? You can put up your hands if anybody has tried to build a website. Okay, I see a hand raised here. And how did you find it? Did you find it a bit tricky, eh? How many found that it was a total headache? It can be a headache, I can tell you that. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, so this Strikingly website, it's been really good to me over the years. It's so easy to use. You can just drag and drop, put the images in, and to have a website is a really good idea if you're wanting to start a small business. And the nice thing about it is because it's free, you can test it out. You can test out different products. You can kind of get to know your brand a little bit better. You can get to know your customer base also a lot better. So okay. So that's just a little bit more about creating a website. And then, okay, so one of the things that you would like to do right in the beginning is something called market research, and that's a fancy way of saying exploring. And what you'd really like to do is ask your customers, what problems do they have? And what benefits would your customers find most valuable? So a lot of startup businesses start with a product and they think, okay, let me take this. I've got something that I like and I think other people will like, and they go out and they try and sell it. And I can tell you that's one of the hardest ways to do it. An easier way is to look around you, look around the people that you interact with every day, and identify a problem that they have, and then creating a product that solves that problem for them. It's that a lot of successful businesses do it that way. It seems like upside down and backwards, but a lot of businesses start with looking at the problem around them and then creating the product that can help it. So for instance, with Simone, she saw that there's a need to teach young girls about entrepreneurship, financial literacy, public speaking, that kind of thing. And then she created the foundation to meet that need or that problem in the marketplace. Okay, so here are some of the questions that you'd be wanting to ask is how much would they be willing to pay for a solution to their problem? And the way that this question is worded is actually really important because very often we create a product and then we're like, oh, I don't really want to charge them too much because I don't know if they think that this is valuable enough for me. And that's not the question we should be asking. We should be looking at the solution you are providing them to their problem. It's almost like our duty as entrepreneurs to help provide solutions to other people's problems. And then looking at how much they'd be willing to pay to have their problem solved. Okay, and then where do the customers currently find your products and services? Okay, one of the first things you'd want to do is create some branding for yourself. And branding, as I put here, it needs to be wow. And you need to make it bold and brilliant. So I've put my branding over here. My business started about 10 years ago, and already I realized that AI was going to be a big thing. So I started a business called Art Infographic because I wanted it to have the A and the I in it. And I wanted something that's creative and it's a digital studio. So it's something a little bit unusual and it kind of stands out. And over the years, I kind of double guessed myself, like, this is a bit of a strange name, Art Infographic. And I second guessed myself, but I realized that I fell in love with my brand over the years. I decided to choose colors that I'd be prepared to look at every day because you have to look at it every day. And you just got to trust your gut, come up with something and then go with it. But remember, choose colors, choose designs, choose a name that you're going to keep for a number of years and you'll be happy to look at every day. All right, here's another tool for you guys that you might enjoy. It's called something called Flipboard. Do any of you know Flipboard magazines? Nobody. Okay, so Flipboard, if you go onto their website, what you can do is you can create your own magazine from looking at other articles. So let's say you're a fantasy writer, for instance. There's a lot of other fantasy writers that have got articles on the internet about 10 best topics of fantasy writing, for instance. Or there's so many articles about writing and about fantasy novels and about bookstores and all sorts of things. And you can go and collect those articles and put it in your own magazine, which is great. And you as a writer, Khadija, is you can go and you can actually even write your own article and then you add it into your magazine. So that can give you some credibility and you can share it with your friends, with your family, and they start realizing, wow, this lady knows something about the product that she's producing or selling, and you can do that with any products, with the with a lady who does the makeup and the nails and all of that. You can do the same kind of thing. It could be modeling, it could be cooking of food, it could be anything that you are interested in, and you can gather those articles together. So I've got a Flipboard magazine for small business, South African businesses, and it's got articles that I've written, as well as a collection of articles I've collected over the internet. And it's a really good way to stay in touch. Here's some ideas that you can cover trending topics, industry news, discussions that give you a deeper understanding of your customers. You can attract new customers, you can strengthen the relationship with your customers, and you can uncover more information. You can learn more about your own product and what other people are doing. So putting your business out on the digital world is a really good way to get a global reach, but it's also kind of, it's almost like if you don't have a website, it's almost like people are going to ask, why don't you have a website? You know, if you don't have social media, people are going to ask, why don't you have social media? So social media can help in some ways by like exposing your product, and it can position you, as I mentioned, as a thought leader. You can have that happen in like with the Flipboard magazine, where people realize that you understand the industry, you understand your market, you understand the things. And, you know, it takes a lot of work off of you if you can share other people's articles as well as writing your own. It really just positions you as a thought leader very quickly. You can even instigate change. So like the work that Simone and everybody here is doing, you know, just spreading good messages and getting a community built up. And you can build your database and connections. You'll see that networking and building connections is a very big part of running a business. And then obviously your online presence, that's what I mentioned before. Like you actually, it's almost like a business card. In the past, we used to have business cards. Having a social media presence is like having a business card. And then once you have been online for a while, if you want to reach out to other companies to go and work for them, one of the first things that the HR department does, in fact, I was on a meeting this week, and the lady said to me, "Oh, Marion, I checked out your background and I realized you did some photography and all of that." So I was quite surprised. Like they go onto your social media and go and see like what is it that you've been doing and stuff. And it can give your CV. Do you guys know what a CV is? No. Okay, so CV is when you apply for a job at a company, then in that you write your experience. So it will say which school you went to, but if you go to university or anything like that, it will also have the names of the universities and stuff. And if you've held any other jobs, it will say exactly what jobs you held and how long and what experience you gained from that. Now, I can tell you when you're looking for a job, the competition on CVs is quite tough. Like they don't just interview one person and say, oh, they're the right person for the job. They often interview quite a lot of people, and then they compare the different CVs and experiences. But these days, the bosses also go onto your social media to go and see what kind of experience you've had and what kind of businesses you run. So it helps you to stand out from the crowd like that. Does that answer your question? Okay. All right. So what I've added here, and you can go through this at your own time, is how much time it would take and how long it would take to kind of set up the different sides of setting up your business digitally. So it would be hosting and creating a business email, creating a signature on your email, a website, if you want to put together a shop, and the basic invoicing. So I've added a quote here. Success is not a doorway, it's a staircase. This quote was written by a lady named Dottie Walters. She's very famous for teaching motivational speakers how to speak on stage, and even Hollywood actors and stuff, on how to speak publicly. And she's written a number of books about it. And I like this thing of success is not a doorway, it's a staircase. And going back to being creative and experimenting and trying different things and seeing what works, what doesn't work, and not holding back, like just going for it. And it is a bit of a process. So I've put more information here about Dottie Walters. You can go and check it. Earlier on, I told you about a book called Think and Grow Rich by a guy named Napoleon Hill. And she actually wrote a book called Speak and Grow Rich. But she really changed the industry of public speaking. Amazing woman. Okay, so the day in the life of an entrepreneur, I'm just pre-warning you guys that one day you might feel like, wow, I'm so excited and this is great and working and fantastic. And the next day you'll be like, oh, this is so hard. And I don't know, like I got a big order and it didn't work out, and it has its ups and downs. But as you can see, when you see it where you started and where you end up, if you just hold on, you're going to get to the top of that mountain. It has its ups and downs. You gets good and bad, but at the end of the day, it's absolutely worth it. So this is me in real life. This is what I look like with my son. And this was my photographic studio that I had. Some of the photos that I did. This was just some product shoots that I did back right in the early days. And here's just work that I did online, helping businesses grow their brands. This is a post that I did with my brand. And you can see, I mean, here it had gone up like nearly 20,000%. When you understand and you've worked in digital media for a while, then you can understand how to grow an engagement and an engaged. All right, so to finish it up here, I just wanted to mention to you all that at the moment, I'm busy writing children's books on entrepreneurship. Here is the cover of one of the books that we're doing. They're very cute stories. They teach things that you don't really learn in most other entrepreneurship books. Things like how to interview people to come and work in your job, in your business, how to get suppliers, duties of a CEO, that kind of stuff, in terms that schoolgoers can understand what entrepreneurship is all about. I've added here a couple of illustrations from our books, and just give you an idea of the kind of style that we have in some of our books. So,
Yes, adorable.
Fantastic. Well, I'm actually got an opportunity coming up where I'm going to be writing a number of these books and actually needing some help. And if any of you ladies would like to volunteer in the program, I'm going to be looking for sponsors and get some finance in. But what I can offer, and you can build a portfolio by working with it. I've got a very easy program of how to develop these books. We use AI a lot and putting the things together. And it could be like a part-time thing. It could be a fun project for you. But also what I'd offer is shares in the company, so that when the book starts selling, you'd be able to start making some profit from any of the books that sell. So if anybody's interested in getting involved in a program like that, you're welcome to contact me. At the bottom over here, there's actually, this is a link through to my email address. So I've put here a section here if anybody would like to. This same link here will take you to my email address, and you can send me that. I've also got some positions in the company for freelance social media graphics designers. So also I'm very happy for people that haven't got any experience or skills to start with me. I offer training and I give them easy to use tools. And we've got very good protocols and things in place to help you just feel comfortable in the company and you grow with the company as it grows. Okay, so anybody who's interested can go there.
Hi, Miss Marion. I'm interested as a volunteer. I have no what's it called again?
Experience.
No experience in this field, but I'm a very creative person, so I'm interested.
Yay! Okay, fantastic. Jewel, it's Jewel that I'm speaking to, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, anybody else also want to join in that's interested?
Yes, miss, I'm interested.
Put your names in the
Okay,
chat.
fantastic.
As Jewel, I have no experience in terms of publishing, but I do have a very clear understanding of creativity and certain concepts that come into entrepreneurship as I am a business student.
Okay, fantastic, guys. That's really exciting. Fantastic. So if you go onto that website link, it's girlsempowerment.mystrikingly.com. So I don't want to give my email address over the recording, but if you go onto that website and you go to this right at the bottom of the page, you'll see here become a sponsor, and you click on that, it will take you right through to my email address, and then we'll just communicate from there, and we can arrange maybe a Zoom call, or I'll email you back and I'll give you further information. Okay,
No
that
problem.
would be so exciting. And don't worry about not having experience. That's actually what I'm looking for. I'm actually looking for people that are coming in with new ideas and that are open to a little bit of training, but then coming in with their own creativity. So it's actually better. I'd rather not work with people that have been doing it for a long time, because then they come in with like their bad habits or ways of doing things that they've learned from other places. Like I'd like completely new people on board. That's the whole idea. And also it's because of the children we're wanting to reach. I mean, we want to reach children all over Africa, for instance, and we'd like to speak on their inexperience in entrepreneurship as well. So it's like, it's perfect. It's perfect. All right. So last but not least, I'd like to just thank everybody for participating and for staying with me through this presentation, and for the previous presentation with the Trust Fund Corporation. There was fantastic information. It's information I wish I received when I was your age, and all the sponsors, and for Simone putting this together. And I look forward to seeing if we can expand the program and getting more and more people involved. So thank you so much for your time. If anybody's got any questions, great, let me know.
Yes, Nathaniel, go ahead.
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So I was wondering, right, for someone who has a lot of ideas on what business they would want to start, but are stuck on like which one they should go through with, how would you advise them in navigating which one to pick?
Okay, Would you mind sharing with me some of the ideas that you have?
Oh, I'm really interested in diplomacy, and I'm also an artist, so I like drawing and painting. Um, I like accounting, and I was really thinking about maybe later on in life starting an accounting business. I don't know, just something. But then I'm also interested in computer science. Like my mind is all over the place. So I was just wondering, how do I really navigate which one to pick?
Okay, so having been a waitress when I just left school, there's a thing that they do to make sure that the pasta is cooked correctly, and it's even famous chefs do this. They throw the pasta against the wall, like a piece of pasta against the wall, like when there's tiles and that, and if the pasta sticks and it doesn't come off of the tile, if the pasta sticks, then it means that the pasta is ready. It's called al dente, it's just right. Okay, and that's at this stage of you having a number of businesses that you'd like to run. What I would recommend is you throw it all at the wall and you see what sticks. So nowadays, because we've got free website packages, we've got so many different things to easily put something together. I would say choose your favorite that you feel like doing, like what you're in the mood to do, and design a little bit of a website, start talking to people about it. But you don't have to just do that one thing. You can then, like a month later, go and create another website with one of your other ideas. And then once you've got a few of them, let's call it even 5 of them, you'll see which one's performing better, which one you're more passionate about. And there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, out of these 5, I actually like these 2, and then kind of closing off. So what I would say is design it, but tell your customers you're trying it out. So you've got there's different types of customers, and there's something called I've forgotten the name now. It's just slipped my mind. But it's people that are eager to try new things. They don't mind if there's some mistakes. They want to just support and try something innovative and new. And so your product, your business doesn't need to be well refined. And you can go to those people and say to them, I'm trying this out. Do you want to try it out? But I think I'm going to run it for a year. And if it does well, then I'll look at forming something a little bit more formal. But if I'm just testing it, and you'll see people will be open to that. So that would be my suggestion. Does that answer your question? Does that help you?
Yes, it did help. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, good luck, eh? I think those are, wow, it's very dynamic, very different things. And that's, as I say, yeah, entrepreneurs, they tend to be multi-talented. And have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that they can do. Anybody else have any more questions?
More questions, ladies? Now is the time. Right, well, thank you so much for that question, Nathaniel. Marion, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. It's been a wonderful presentation. And the fact that the girls have this site to go back to, that they can actually, sit and read in their own timing and digest the information, because it's a lot of information. So, they can take their time and digest and go back to the various books. Please, young ladies, take note of the books and the resources that Marion has given you. I thank Marion so much for her involvement. I must thank her for the input in my life over the past few months. She has really made a significant difference. She's an excellent coach, an excellent business strategist. Ladies, let me tell you something. Do not take this information for granted. Do not, okay? Marion is a consultant. As a consultant, people pay her for her time and for giving them information and all these resources. You are getting this information for free. Please do not take it for granted. This is information that a lot of adults don't even have. A lot of entrepreneurs who are trying to run businesses. You have this information at a very tender age, at the age where you can put things in place and develop yourself for success. Okay, so you don't have to make mistakes, and we have made along the way. We have a lot more support, a lot of tools. Please take note of the various tools. Do your research, do your personal and professional development, continue learning. Learning is not only about going into the school. Learning is through platforms like these. It's about going on to your various, YouTube and Instagram and checking out all these other, programs, links, resources, etc. Make that part of your personal and professional development and commitment to you learning and developing yourself. If you do not invest in yourself, then you cannot expect anyone else to invest in you. Please, I am begging you, please, if you take this information seriously, you would see where your life will be in a couple of years' time. And those who have taken up the opportunity to work with Marion on these books, I must congratulate you. I am telling you, your life, your world is going to change. The exposure, the training, the whole, believe me, your life is going to change. You cannot get a better deal than this, right? So thank you so much, ladies, for your attention and for taking up that offer with Marion. I really wish you all the best. Please be open to learning, okay? You learn about different cultures, etc., as you get exposed in the real world. So it's been a really wonderful session. So we want to wrap up in a few moments. I know we've just gone over a little bit of our time, but I want to, Swashti is also with us, giving us some technical support. So I'm just going to invite her to put up the Funancial Freedom game. So we're going to just have 5 minutes of that. Okay, so that's going to kind of seal off, all that we've learned in a fun way. And then we're going to have a few minutes with Deborah with our mental health check-in, and then we're going to close off. Okay, guys? So while Swashti is uploading the Financial Freedom game, so we're going to play compound interest. So go ahead, Swashti.
So the richest guy in the world says that he became rich by spending time understanding compounding. Not only that, Albert Einstein also had something to say on this subject matter. Einstein called compounding the eighth wonder of the world.
So you need to know about this, and that's what we're going to go through in this video. And look, Pom and Cam and I, we get it. We understand that short-term checking Insta and Twitter is fun, but long-term, the investment that you make in educating yourself is going to go so much further.
And that's the secret to becoming rich. You have to commit to learning. So what exactly is compounding? Let me tell you, all compounding means is earning interest on interest.
What?
I know, it can be confusing. So let's really break this down. Let me firstly explain normal interest, or simple interest, as it is known. Imagine you have $1,000 and you put it in the bank.
And imagine it earns 10% interest in a year. That means after a year, you have made $100 in interest. Plus, you still have your original investment of $1,000.
So now in total, after a year, you have $1,100. Pretty straightforward, right?
Makes total sense.
Now, a lot of people will take the extra money they have made, in this case, the $100, because it's free money. All compounding means is you do not take the interest you have made, but you reinvest it, therefore earning interest on your interest.
Now, we want to make sure that you really do understand this, so we are going to give you an example of how this works, and we want to introduce you to Dan. Here's Dan, and this is his brother, Toby, and we're going to show you how compounding can make a real difference. We think you will be amazed at the difference that compounding can make. So let's spend just a few minutes going through this. We'll do that in the next video. See you there in a second.
Welcome to Learn. I'm so excited to get started. In this first Learn, I have something that if you really pay attention to, and of course implement, will change your life. Now I know that sounds dramatic, so let me explain. In this video, I want to share with you what we are calling 3 rules rich people live by. Now these 3 rules will feed into everything that we cover here at Financial. I'll be referring back to these, and they really are the foundation of any financial success. Now in this video, I'll share with you what these 3 laws are, these rules are, and we'll break down each one into a bit more detail in this month's Learn. Sound good? Okay, awesome. So rule number 1, the first rule that rich people live by is you must have multiple streams of income. Let me repeat. You must have multiple streams of income. Essentially, this means you can't just rely on a job. Again, I'm just giving you the overview here. We'll take a look at this in more detail in the next video. But for now, I want you to know that the first rule that rich people live by is you must have multiple streams of income, okay? Awesome. So rule number 2 is you must start saving now. Let me repeat, you must start saving now. We've already discussed how lucky you are to have age on your side. But guess what? Hardly anyone saves. That's why most people have no money. Anybody that is wealthy has learned to become a good saver. So you need to become a good saver early on. So rule number 2, you must start saving now. Again, we'll go into each thing a little bit deeper later. And rule number 3 is you must educate yourself. You already are ahead of the game because you're here. All change starts with education. Now, you may have heard the saying, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. Most people never educate themselves in life, and therefore, nothing changes. We don't want this for you. Now, as dramatic as this will sound, these 3 rules contain within them the power to transform your life financially. Okay, so we've covered the 3 rules. Let's dive deeper into each one in the next video.
Right, guys, so our time is limited, so we can't go further into, because of limited time, we can't go further into the videos right now. But please raise your hand if you find that program looks interesting and you'd like to know more, because there's a lot more learning, fun games, teaching you about entrepreneurial activities, simple stuff that you can do even as teens. So let me see by a raise of hands who thinks it's interesting and would like to know more. And then what we can do is we'll do an unofficial session where we can actually go through various videos and you all can get a chance to play some of the games and understand some of the learning opportunities. Right, so I'm seeing lots of hands raised. Okay, fantastic. So we will definitely have another session. So like an afternoon or so, where we can go through the game and you all can have a fun time, okay? So if you notice, it spoke about compounding, which we spoke about this week and last week as well, and the habits of the rich, which is investing in yourself via learning, okay? Spending time reading, having multiple streams of income. So we're noticing a trend. So if we want to be successful, we need to jump on the bandwagon, as we say, okay, and get with the program so we know what to do. Right, guys, so our time is running away with us. So I would like to introduce to you from Ghana, bringing greetings from his country, Mr. Lateef Mansuru.
Hi, Simone. Wow. Hello. What an interesting session. I was following it, but unfortunately, I have to drive and I'm going to pick a brother who is from UK. So it was 2 things at a go that I'm doing. It's a nice experience. I was listening to the program before, as Simone was saying, my name is Lateef Mansuru. I'm from Ghana. I'm a social welfare and community development officer. I think I will also say a bit of helping. Our work is more on the social welfare and community development, where we tend tend to look at the vulnerables within our societies and see how we can also assist them. For social welfare, we are looking at the vulnerables. We look at the how to support the life people who fall within the poverty line. We have something we call LEAP, Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, which is something that the government is implementing to help to reduce poverty. We are, in terms of the community development, what we do here is to assist the community in which we work to look at to facilitate and assist them in identifying their problems and ensuring the local resources they have that they can use to resolve their own issues. So that's a bit of what we do. No, wait. So, okay. Please forgive me on that. Mommy, I'm coming. So, pass this way. Come. Okay. So I'm with the case. That's what I have to manage. So I think through Facebook that we just bend down there and okay. So Simone has been helping a lot through our work here in Ghana, frankly speaking. And okay, I was talking of the headquarters that we work with within our various markets. Mostly, even where they sleep, they don't have a shelter. Mostly in terms of their livelihood, it's another thing. They are faced with all sorts of rape, all sorts of social violence. So what we at our end we do is to sensitize them, educate them, and let them know that where they are coming from, they can make it a better place without them trooping into the south, where these facilities they are assuming are there are not there. So we try to educate them, assist them to go back to their villages and try to do something better for themselves based on the available resources they will find there. So that's a bit I can talk of the work here at the Social Welfare and Community Development in Ghana. So I can say a bit of for now. Unfortunately, I've been distracted with the case as well as driving on the highway. But I know as we go on other session, I will come back again to speak a bit. Based on this session, what I could say talk about is sticking to your budget. It's something that I tried in the past that I was finding it very difficult to do it. In the past 5 years, I was doing this monthly budget based on the salary I receive, but I'll always exceed my budget. There is something that I can't control when it comes to the expenses. You try to do it this way, but at the end of the day, unforeseen expenses will come. You have to sort with family members. You have to sort the vulnerables you meet on the road that you can't just let it go. But through following the budget, last 3 years that I was very strict on my budget. It really helped me. When I went and checked my accounts, the savings account that I usually keep the rest of the money, it was huge. I was amazed to ask, if I was to start this early, I would have been making a lot of money following the budget I've been doing. So budgeting is something that all of us have to make use of it, ensure that we follow it visually. So that's a bit I can talk on today's session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lateef. It's really a pleasure having you joining us, and thanks for telling us about the work that you're doing, and keep up the great work. I know that you're pushing hard and doing a lot of great work with the vulnerable women in Ghana in your district. And we appreciate you taking the time off to be with us today, even though you're on the road and that kind of stuff. So we do appreciate, and we look forward to hearing from you in the near future again. Glad that the topic was helpful, and I will share the YouTube video with you so you can always, pass it on to the girls.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we just want to thank Lateef from Ghana for bringing greetings. And sometimes we take a lot of things for granted, but the ladies in the Kumasi region in Ghana, they are not as fortunate as many of us would be, and they struggle with just normal day-to-day housing and food, etc. So the things that we normally take for granted, don't, because there are a lot of people who would love to be in the situation that you are in, and Lateef is helping them and, putting various programs into place, to help the vulnerable young women. And part of it would be this financial literacy training to show them how to budget and to save and eventually be able to do their own business. Right, guys, so I know we've gone over now, it's just after past, so I'll just give Deborah a couple minutes, just do maybe a little quick exercise. Might not be able to go into all that you had planned for today, so we'll leave it for the next session, right, Debs?
It was a very interesting exercise and program today. I just want to get a little feedback. What's everybody taking away? Just 1-2 minutes on that. What stood out for you in today's session? What has really impacted you? Like, wow, I must take this through and give you an insight, a bell rang. Maybe just one word, just one phrase.
The idea that creativity can really be the foundation of any entrepreneurship business.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And for me, that stood out for me too. It's a superpower of, the entrepreneur, being creative, looking and seeing, what resources is available, and how we can maximize, on that resource. And that really, stood out for me too. So, and then it's just position. Oh, Nathaniel?
Oh, I was going to say that something that really stood out to me was the fact that a lot of the times when we know what to do, like in terms of saving money, but when it's repeated to you and in the manner in which it was repeated to us, I feel like it really opened my eyes to really take it seriously and start now so that in the future I don't experience something that I would regret.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. You're never too young, to start saving, and this is one of the 3 things of the rich people, they save. What was the second one? They save, they have
educate themselves,
multiple stream of income.
And multiple streams, yes. So, and they educate themselves, yeah.
Exactly. So we have Clarice is saying the SMART acronym that was really eye-opening. So whenever you set your goal, it must be SMART. It must be specific, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So that was good. And then Justin says, I taken away to budget and to save money. Yeah, to budget and to save money. So it's just excellent. So we're growing, we're developing, and we're learning. Yeah, and that is good. So we're going to do a little meditation here with a candle, because sometimes we go with the process, we go with the flow, but sometimes we reach a brick wall and it's not going as we plan. Yeah, I put it up in the Sapphire Miriam, the chat, about the arrow going up and down. Oh, it's a good day. Oh, I'm doubting myself. It's not so good. What am I doing? And it goes up and it goes down. So when you have your down day, you can just plug into the fullness that is inside of you. And then inside, you're going to grow, and what's happening externally will not have so much of a big impact. Like, you are the cake, you are enough. You know, you're the one who are creative, you're creating and you're pushing out. And the external is just like the icing on the cake. Isn't that beautiful to know that? Yeah. All right, ladies. So keep on doing your do, keep on connecting to your breath and being creative and knowing that, you know, everything changes and it's just moment by moment, day by day. It's a time for renewal and always, you know, a time for growth, you know. So it's always good to make errors, and errors is a way of learning and developing more, even more. Yeah. And these things are said not to stop us, but to strengthen us. Yeah. And to make us stronger. Amen. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deborah, for that, for wrapping everything up nicely. We've already gone over the time by half an hour. So we want to, you know, just close off with our closing off song, which is Believe, which Malaika will play for us. And I just want to thank the young ladies for their support today, Malaika and Swashti, for coming on board with the technical support while Ricardo is not here today, for helping us to run things smoothly. We want to thank our sponsors, obviously, because without them, this would not be possible. That is the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago, and also the Unitrust Corporation. We want to thank Ms. Erica Bleasdell from Unitrust Corporation for her fantastic presentation, and also Marion from Art Infographic in South Africa for her presentation as well, which really nailed in everything on entrepreneurship. And please, ladies, go on to the website, digest the information, take up the opportunity if you're interested in writing, if you're interested in entrepreneurship. She's a fantastic coach. She's someone that you want to stick with if you want to be able to grow your business and be able to launch yourself out into the world as a successful young woman. Right, guys? Please don't take these opportunities for granted. We thank each and every one of you for joining in today, and all our partners from all over. And we really want to thank Mr. Lateef Mansuru from Ghana for sharing with us and for being part of the program. So we're going to play our last song, which is Closing Believe, and wishing you guys the rest of the weekend, a very restful yet productive weekend. And see you guys next week on the 17th, where we'll be doing social media safety as well as AI opportunities as we venture into the new world of AI and what it has in store for us.
Thank you very much, Miss, and same to you.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for joining. I'll be sending out the Unitrust forms for those who are 18 and above who would like to join the Unitrust to start investing. 18 and above and in full-time education, so you can drop your name in the chat.